By the way, you guys are covering next door too, right? The big 3 tank. It's the same functioning, it's the same maintenance, and you haven't maintained it. Because it's been going for a couple of years. I'm the one who started it up. So whatever you hear today works for next door, okay? These are 1/2 micron sand filters. So when you remove 1/2 micron, you're removing half of bacteria from the water. So why am I being kind of like, you need to maintain them? Because it's gonna help you with Legionella.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you have someone that can come in and
Anybody can do it. So you give me the name of your contractor and I'll hook it up with sand and the maintenance. Like if you want someone to do it for you, pick somebody. Have them call me. Because it's nothing
we
hard.
don't have the manpower.
That's fine. Just pick a contractor and tell them to call me, because I'll tell you right now what it is, the maintenance, okay? So they're 1/2 micron. To maintain them at 1/2 micron or 1/4 micron, and the way you know if it's 1/2 or 1/4 micron, seeing the model number here, there's a Q, that means 1/4. By the way, any sand filter on the closed loop is gonna be 1/4 micron, and on an open loop, like your tower, is gonna be 1/2 micron. If you want to maintain it at that level, you have to top it off once a year.
We haven't done that since we did it.
So if you guys are too busy to do that, which takes for a guy this size, a 1/2 hour, a year, pick somebody, have them call me. I'm going to send them the procedure, which is, again, it's a 1/2 hour's work. And that's it. But you have to, I can't pick someone for you. I have guys in New York. Why would you pay for someone from New York to come all the way to Stanford? Well, all you need is a guy with a set of arms. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do to maintain it at 1/2 micron or 1/4 micron once a year, and I would do it before the cooling season, you want to top it off. So, and inspect the sand. So you don't want to inspect something dirty, so backwash it first, meaning you push the backwash button, which is right here. That's an auto clean. You have to push it and hold it until the light goes yellow. That takes 30 seconds, okay? So you hold it, when the light goes yellow, you release it. And you want to backwash the sand before you look at it, because if you look at dirty sand, you just know that your sand's dirty. It's not going to tell you anything, right? Okay. So you see these valves here? These valves are the valves that send the water into backwash or into filtration. Valve number 1 and valve number 2 are filtration valves. So in filtration, the water goes from the top through the sand out the bottom. So in filtration, these 2 valves are open. How do you know the position of the valve? You need to look at the red dot and see where it lines up. Okay? So see, it's going to close. This is filtration in, this is filtration out. It's closing right now because I'm going to backwash. Hey, how are you? Are you also in charge of a next door, the central plant?
That's our boss, yeah.
Right, great, because what I'm saying here is also applicable to the other plant, and apparently the maintenance hasn't been done, so this is good. We're re-looking at it again. Right. So this one's closed, then this one will open, and this one will open, and I'll send city water, in this case here, from the bottom out the top to the drain for 5 minutes, okay? So once a year, like I was saying, it's very important to top off your sand filters, because these are 1/2 micron or 1/4 micron on closed loops. And next door, when you have this big tower and this nice filter that tested above the performance when I did the startup, you want to maintain it at 1/2 micron because that removes half the size of a bacteria. So if you got Legionella and you got sued, you can claim you did everything you could to prevent it, because you also have Barkley. It's going to help with your chillers for heat transfer. And to maintain it at 1/2 micron once a year, you backwash the filter. When it's finished, you drain it, you take the top off, you inspect the sand, and you top it off.
So you're supposed to top the resin off with sand.
It's sand, but yes.
So it's always...
Because the top layer is the good stuff, and it's going to break down through erosion. You're going to backwash it to the drain. So you want to top it off once a year. And what I was saying to this gentleman, For a little guy like this, it's a half hour. For your big guy across the way, 1 hour. If you don't have time to do it, pick a contractor, have him call me. I'm going to tell him what to do. It's nice. The only thing special, you need to get the sand from AmeriWater, and any technical questions have to go through me. And I don't charge for that. So if, let's say you're like, I don't have the manpower, pick a service guy you like, have him call me. I'm going to explain to him what to do.
Well, I have to get the resins from America.
AmeriWater, you have to get the sand because they're the only people that have the very, very fine sand that can do half micron. It's the same stuff that NASA has, that Johns Hopkins Hospital, that Yale, all these people, okay? So earlier when we showed up, you saw this valve here was in the middle. Those valves are either fully open or fully closed. This actuator has gone bad. And that's why our pressures were equal, right? I had 100 pounds coming in, and with my pump running at 100 pounds and 100 pounds, because this valve was closed. So this actuator needs to be replaced. So when you're backwashing, your pump goes off, and you're sending city water from the bottom of the tank, so valve number 3 is open, through the vessel, out the drain. So valve number 4 is open. So 3 and 4 are backwash valves. The backwash lasts 5 minutes. The backwash happens on 3 modes. Once a day on a timer, when the pressure differential between the top and bottom is 18, or if you push the button like I did and you hold it for 30 seconds. And this is true for across the street. They work all the same way, okay? So after 5 minutes, it's going to come out of backwash, and the pump is going to start again, right? So let me just, this is your backwash counter. It tells you how many backwashes it's done ever since I started it up, and you should log it. You should log that number because it gives you an idea how the system's doing.
Did you do the startup on this?
I did the startup. It's been 20 years I'm the engineer for this region, so I did the startups here, and I did the startups across the street a few years ago.
Did you do the one over on Hope Street back in '96?
No, I started in '98.
Oh, all right.
So that wasn't me. That must have been an old diamond filter then, right?
Yeah.
That was our manufacturer. We fired them about 10 years ago, but it's still Chemworks. So the guy that probably did the one on Hope Street was either probably Steve Leach or Brian Hayward. Steve is still with us. Chemworks is still the same. We just fired our manufacturer and hired AmeriWater. Okay, so see, now like it's not acting out just because we're filming it, but when we showed up, this valve was in the middle. So I'll show you, we'll start the pump. So very important to keep an eye on your backwash counter, and I just noticed something. Usually when you do one backwash, it goes up 1, but I think it was at 241 and now showing 243. So it's skipping 2, so I could send you a new counter. Okay, so see, with my pump running, my top is 135 and my bottom is 125, that's 10, that's good. Let me tell you why that's good. So number 1, it's still like this. This actuator is bad. This valve should be full open. But when we showed up today, it was like this. So all the gauges were reading 100, even though my pump was running. It's like I wasn't boosting the water because this valve was closed. So this actuator must be changed. So you can call AmeriWater or send me an email. I think it's still under warranty. You'll get an actuator for free. I'll give you my card when I leave.
Tell Bob Turner, the gentleman who facilitates.
I can't tell them. I'll tell the contractor, Grodsky, that he has a bad actuator on this one. He needs to change it. Okay. So don't run it really until it's changed because you might burn the pump. It's pushing, it's pushing against nothing. Okay. So. The top pressure is 135 and the bottom pressure is 125, and there's a valve here and it's fully open.
All the time?
Right now, yes. I'll just shut this out because it's loud. On your cooling tower across the street, it's a butterfly valve. Do you have it full open right now?
No, I think it's cranked down to try to get the differential pressure.
Right, and that differential pressure is on the clean bed only, okay? So although it's choked down, but it's more open than closed, right? Okay.
Now let me ask you this.
Well, let me explain it to them if it's about that, because they don't know what I'm talking about now. Do you know what I'm saying? They won't know, you know, but they don't know. So the filter is going to backwash on 3 modes. Once a day on the timer, no matter what. If you push a button and hold it until the light goes yellow, and when the pressure differential is 18, so when the top minus the bottom is 18, it knows it's 30, it's going to backwash. Now, on a closed loop, this is less critical, but on a cooling tower, the amount of dirt in the atmosphere varies. And there are days where you can have lots and lots and lots of dirt all of a sudden. And that the filter would backwash, it would come out of backwash and start clean with a DP of like 16, let's say. Well, then you only have 2 pounds and you're gonna backwash again. If that were to happen, you would choke down on that adjustment valve. Or as in the case of across the street, it's that big butterfly valve. The parameter, how much do you choke down? You want a DP of 12 on a clean bed max, okay? So that means that if you open that valve all the way, after backwash, always just after backwash, you can't adjust this valve anytime random. So what I mean is if you walk to the filter and look at a pressure differential and it says 16, do you choke on the valve? No. Maybe it was filtering for 4 hours, right? It might have started at 8, you don't know, you didn't see it backwash. When you backwash it, you want the start point to be not too close to the set point, and that's 12 max. So if you backwash the filter, it goes into filtration and your DP is 16, then you choke down on the valve temporarily. That means as the water cleans up, in a matter of a few days, you reopen it up. Is that clear? What's your question?
Yeah, you probably pretty much answered.
I answered it? Okay.
Yeah.
If you end up having to choke on the valve that's almost closed, your sand is shot. The sand must be changed every 3 to 5 years. Topped off once a year. But if you're good about maintaining it, I have people that never take the sand out. Because every year they take the top off, they top it off. You have to be about 8 inches below the bottom of this. They top it off, and when they do that, they put a little biocide to clean things up. And if you do that every year, you might extend the life of your sand, and you don't have to change it. And the changing is a pain in the ass. You have to suck it out.
What's the suggested, I got it, what's the suggested PM for this?
Once a year, you have to inspect the sand and top it off. Some people do it twice a year, but once a year is plenty, okay? And of course, there's a pump strainer in front of the pump. Pull this out ever so often, make sure it's not clogged. Every day you should log the backwash counter. That's a 5-second job. Look, take a reading, you're done.
It's a big job getting those resins out.
It's a pain in the ass.
Big job.
That's why you don't want to have to do it too often, and to avoid.
You gotta have 3 vacuums set up.
It sucks.
And do one.
Sucks. That's why the only thing is that
heavy as it's insane.
I think across the street, aren't you like floor level where you could rent one of those trucks? No, you're not. So you would have to do that pain in the ass. That's why it's very important. If you maintain the sand every year, you can push this away 7 years. You know what I'm saying? If every year you top it off and you put a little biocide to clean things out, talk to Bartley, you're going to extend the life of the bed. And it's worth it because it's a pain. It sucks to take it out.
Let me ask you this. I've had a couple times where I have the in and then out are the same amount of pressure, and I'm trying to throttle it, and it's not changing.
Well, that's because one of the actuators has gone bad.
That's probably what's going on there.
If it's reading the same as your inlet pressure, number one has gone bad, or your strainer is plugged.
There's like out of 12 of them, I think, on that one.
No, you have 4 banks. You have 4 filters, right? 3 or 4. You have 4. So you have 4 number 1 valves. So one of the four, just look at the actuator. If it's closed when it's supposed to be open, it's gone bad. So one of the actuator, if the pressure reads the same as the inlet, one of the number one valve has gone bad or your strainer is plugged.
Well, that's good to know. All right.
If your pressure is the same as at the outlet, you're deadheading it.
Yeah.
If it's reading higher than your inlet, then the number two valve has gone bad.
And
You're
you want
deadheading.
12 You want 12-pound difference.
Max. I want the valve open as much as possible without busting 12 on a clean bed. Then it's gonna go up and up and up as it gets
So
dirty.
you're saying after it's backwashed, that's when, you know.
After it's backwash, just at this time. So if you're not getting a DP, either you've lost all the sand, but I bet you it's one actuator went bad and you need to get on top of it because you're gonna burn your pump.
Well, that's what I'm, you know, now I'm, like
No, I'm not giving you a hard time.
No,
right,
I
right,
know you're
right.
not. I'm just saying, that's why it was only a couple guys in that class.
Right.
And a lot of them missed it.
Right.
So I didn't have anybody to go to that.
Sure. But I'm gonna give you my card because you guys should really give me a call.
I mean, it was a question. I'm like,
I don't know the position of the
I've been to your facility 2 or 3 times before,
I
but
know
it was
for a fact
different
that we're
people.
gonna have to add sand.
Of course.
Now,
Of course you're gonna have to add sand.
Some of these people.
You're gonna have to add sand, and what you should do, you can send me an email. I can email you the maintenance. It's 3 pages, very easy. The annual maintenance is 1 paragraph. The only reason 3 pages tells you every day, look at your counter. Every quarter, look at your strainer. You know.
You sell her sand too, right?
Yes, I marrow water directly. So let's say you're like, I don't want to deal with her. You can call them directly, but usually people email me and I reply to you and I copy the guy in the shop with your serial number just so that you know I've done it, and then he sends you a code directly.
I have a question. In a normal operation, what is the position of it? Open?
So this is filter in. So in filtration,
Infiltration
this
normal?
is open,
and open.
close, close.
Okay.
And
In
backwash,
backwash?
reverse.
Okay.
Is it possible, because you know this, downstairs, the little one on the back over there,
Right.
that our timer, it doesn't,
The backwash counter?
yeah, it's not
But
counting
maybe
anymore.
maybe it's in this position. Someone just put reset. See
No,
if you
it's at 219 and it hasn't changed in 2 years.
Oh, well, the counter has gone bad
And we,
because I'm
we,
sure
we
it's
told about
backwash.
this. I don't know if you ever got it.
Nobody told me.
That's what I'm saying.
Where is it? Is it on this facility?
It's in the first one that we did, remember? The other building.
The big guy?
No, the little one in the back.
Oh, I have one. Oh, yeah, for the chilled water?
Yes.
And yeah, the counter's gone bad. Now that you have my email, why don't you send me an email? I need that 9 number. Say like my counter's gone bad on this one. Give me the 9 number and I'll hook you up.
Okay. Sounds good.
This one, I'll talk to the contractor because it's still under warranty.
Yeah, the other one, it
I'll
was
get you a new
actually
actuator.
within the same 2-3 months it was bad. And we told
That's
Linwood, and
possible.
Linwood was
No, I
like,
never heard. I never heard of
happens.
it.
It was one of
It's
those
fine.
things. It's not a big deal.
That's not a
but
big deal. But your big guy, like that, if you don't have a DP, look
that
at
one's
those.
counting. That one's counting.
Yeah, but look at your actuators.
Yeah, okay.
That's a big, because you're going to burn your pump.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
Good to know, yeah.
Okay, so this is filtration in, and even if you have 4 vessels, they all work the same way. They all filter together, so all number 1 valves are open in filtration, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. All number 2 are open in filtration, and then they backwash 1 vessel at a time.
Okay, so if you have one vessel on, the other 3 are...
No, everybody's filtering out once. Everybody's filtering at the same time. When you backwash, everything goes on offline.
Okay.
Offline. But you have one at a time that backwashes, but meanwhile the other ones are just offline. All their valves are closed.
All right, but when it's running, like...
Everybody's running at the same time.
Okay.
Okay? But make sure you, now that you have my card and stuff, make sure you call me.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me give you a card, Terrence. There you go. And as I said, let's say you're like, we don't want to do the maintenance, get a contractor you like, and have them call me. Because I've trained a bunch of guys in New York, but why pay for a guy from New York to come over here? You know what I'm saying? They're just contractors. They're independent. So, all right. Any other questions?
So you can backwash when in auto, but you cannot backwash when it's off the pump.
No, I just turned it off because your actuator is bad, and I don't think you should run it.
So obviously when we go to clean this grader, we basically shut the system down, isolate it, plug it.
That's it.
And that's all.
That's it.
As long as I know that's right.